Hello, my fellow library patrons, and welcome back to the Who is Library for all things books and education. Welcome back. It's lovely to meet you, and it's great seeing you again. If you're new here, my name is Desiree, and I love diving into books that challenge perspectives, spark conversations, and highlight marginalized voices. Today, we're talking about beginning steps on how you can diversify your bookshelves. My friends, it is 2025, okay? I don't want to hear any more excuses about why you can't have a diverse bookshelf. And if after this video, you still have excuses as to not reading diversely, it's a choice at that point, okay? And I'm looking at you. So whether you're just starting your journey in more inclusive reading or looking for tips to expand your current collection, I got you covered. So let's break down why this matters and how you can get started. Why is diversifying your bookshelf so important? Books are a gateway to understanding other cultures, experiences, and perspectives. A quote from WeNeedDiverseBooks.com says, Dr. Rudine Sims Bishop published an article in 1990 titled Mirrors, Windows, and Sliding Glass Doors that speaks to how our society has grown with culture, but our books don't reflect it. She describes that people of color see through windows, looking in at a world that isn't like our own. So when we only read books from one type of voice or background, we really miss out on the richness and the complexity of the world. With white children in particular, their parents are less likely to expose them or talk about other races or expose them to other cultures or stories. And this puts them at a disadvantage because they can't really see the true nature of the world around them. We have to be intentional in seeking out diverse authors, diverse stories, diverse books, because mainstream media and big publishing companies, more often than not, center white voices, cisgendered people, and non-disabled people. This isn't new information that marginalized people have to work twice as hard to be seen. We also see this in other forms of media like TV shows and movies, so it's really not hard to assume that this extends into the bookish space. By intentionally seeking out diverse authors, we challenge our biases, we broaden our horizons, and we support creators who have been historically marginalized. Plus, representation matters, not just for ourselves, but for the next generation of readers. Okay, so how do you actually find these books? Well, let me tell you, here are 5 easy ways to get started. First, we're going to follow diverse bloggers, booktubers, TikTokers, bookstagram people, any form of a diverse book content creators. So here are a few, wherever I put them, list of content creators that really focus on uplifting marginalized voices. I've followed these people. I really respect that the content that they put out. I've read some of the books that they have recommended or reviewed, and yeah, that's step number 1. In addition to following, you can use hashtags to search for content creators. Hashtags like diverse authors, diverse books, LGBTQIA plus books, authors, stories, whatever the case may be. Whatever way you want to diversify your bookshelf, just hashtag it. And that is step number 1 in finding ways to link with other content creators to help you in searching for new books. Step 2, we're going to shop at indie or bookstores owned and operated by marginalized groups. You're probably wondering, Desiree, what constitutes an indie bookstore? Well, according to Wikipedia, an independent bookstore is a retail bookstore which is independently owned. Usually, independent stores consist of only a single actual store, although there are some multi-store independents. They may be structured as sole proprietorships, closely held corporations or partnerships, cooperatives, or nonprofits. So basically, these are small bookstores not owned by the big dogs like Barnes & Noble or Books A Million. And what's unique about indie bookstores, or what's common, is that they usually often prioritize highlighting local and underrepresented authors. When trying to find indie stores, I recommend just Googling indie stores near me, or Black-owned bookstore, or insert marginalized community bookstore near me to find a local store to support them. Many of them even offer online shopping, but another way to support local while buying online is through bookshop.org, which is a website that kind of acts as a hub for supporting local and indie bookstores. So if you're a girly like me and you don't like going outside in the wild sometimes, you just want to be in the comfort of your own home but also still get the books that you want, bookshop.org is the shop for you. So basically how they work is you choose your local bookshop or a indie bookshop that will receive profits from any book that you purchase through bookshop.org. This way, like I was saying, you're able to shop online and also support an indie bookstore. It's a win-win, really. And get this, it doesn't even have to be a local store in your city or state. You can choose something on the opposite side of the country if you really wanted to. Also, shameless plug, I do have an affiliate link with bookshop.org. This video is not sponsored in any way, shape, or form, but if you use my link, which will be in the description, part of the profit will go to my hometown bookstore that I have chosen to support, and I also receive a small stipend. But yeah, you can support me and the local bookstore at the same time. Greatly appreciated. Thank you in advance. Number 3, use online tools and book lists. Websites like We Need Diverse Books, which is a nonprofit organization whose mission is, quote, putting more books featuring diverse characters into the hands of all readers. They have curated lists that you can find under the resource tab, which I will link in my description as well. Goodreads is another resource you can use, but I'm going to put a little asterisk next to this one. Goodreads has a history of centering whiteness and cisgendered authors, especially when it comes to their yearly Good Choice, their Goodreads Good Choice Awards. And I also found an article on bookriot.com that talks more in detail about Goodreads Good Choice Awards history surrounding this. So it's a good read. I'll link it in the description if you're interested. Anyway, you can find user-generated list of diverse books on Goodreads, and while I don't like Goodreads for reasons, it is a good source for user-generated lists to find diverse books and authors, which I have utilized that resource myself and found some favorites. And when you're looking for some curated lists, you can search up books by LGBTQIA authors or things like reads from Indigenous writers. As long as you have those keywords in there, you should be able to find what you're looking for. Number 4, look for awards and recognitions. Books that win awards like the Coretta Scott King Award, which annually recognizes YA books by African American authors and illustrators. We also have the Lambda Literary Award, which celebrates LGBTQIA+ writers. And the Penn/Faulkner Award for Fiction also is an example of awards that usually spotlight marginalized communities or creators. And if you go to their website, you can usually find a list of past winners or a list of past/current nominees to help look for more diverse books and authors. Number 5, ask for recommendations. Utilize those free resources in your librarians, your bookstore employees, or even your local book clubs. They'll be able to point you in the right direction. So, we already talked about why diversifying your bookshelves is important, how you can find diverse books, and now we're going to talk about some ways to get started. Number 1, you don't need to overhaul your bookshelf, okay? Begin with 1 or 2 books by a diverse author that you've never heard before, never read before. I do not recommend going broke over this, okay? Utilize your resources like your library or Libby, which allows you to link your library card so you can get digital copies of books as well as audio copies if they have them available. 2, diversify your genres, okay? Don't stick to one genre. I know we like to live in our comfort zone, but it's 2025 and we're moving on from that, okay? Your life begins, look at me in my eyes. Your life begins at the end of your comfort zone. That's a quote. I don't know who said it, but that's a quote. So we can explore things like memoirs, fantasy, sci-fi, poetry, romance, graphic novels, all these kinds of genres by diverse authors. And don't you worry, my fellow patrons, okay, I'm holding myself accountable to romance. When I tell you romance is not my go-to pickup book, but last year I read a romance that I actually liked. Vampires of El Norte. Check it out. But yeah, I think you'll be surprised at what you find when you explore other genres, okay? 3, read intentionally, okay? Look beyond these big bestsellers. You know which ones I'm talking about. Listen, sometimes the most powerful stories can come from indie authors and small presses. Number 4, incorporate book clubs. Okay, you can join or you can start your own book club focusing on diverse reads. This way, you're reading and you're learning and discussing with others. Now, I know some of you are probably thinking, Desiree, doesn't starting a book club require me to like meet up in person with people, find a common spot to go like find and do? I hear you. I do. There are online resources for that, okay? Fable is a great digital book club resource. Storygraph also has an option where you can do buddy reads, which allows for discussions. So there's options out there for you. Number 5, track your progress by creating a reading challenge. For example, you could do 12 diverse authors in 12 months, or you could do books from 5 different countries, whatever you want to do. Storygraph also allows you to create challenges, so if you want other people to join in while also holding yourself accountable, you can do that. But at the end of the day, make it fun, make it enjoyable, make it feel like less of a task. Before we wrap up, before I let you loose into the world of diverse books and authors, I'm going to give you some recommendations to get you started. First, we have Kindred by Octavia E. Butler. I first read this in college and I loved it. It's due for a reread, but this is a sci-fi masterpiece. Okay, by one of the most influential Black authors of our time, in my opinion. If you've read Parable of the Sower or Parable of the Talent, you know what I'm talking about. And if you haven't, add that to your list of reads, please. I beg you. Do it. Next, we have The Night Watchman by Louis Erdrich, which is a powerful story rooted in Native American history. Next, we have The Black Flamingo by Dean Atta, which is a coming-of-age novel in verse about identity and self-discovery. Now, you're probably wondering, what's a novel in verse? Because I didn't know for sure. A novel in verse is a story written in poetry instead of prose, but with the structure and style of a traditional novel. The more you know. Next is Homegoing by Yaa Gyasi, which I have also read and love it, but it's a multi-generational tale that explores the African diaspora, and it is chef's kiss, in my opinion, of course. And finally, we have Crying in H Mart by Michelle Zauner, which is a heartfelt memoir about culture, family, and loss. I haven't read this one yet, but it's definitely been on my TBR for a while. But each of these stories is a unique lens on life and history, and I think would be a great starting point. I hope this guide inspires you to start or continue your journey toward a more diverse bookshelf. All the resources and the references mentioned in this video will be in the description. Let me know in the comments, what are some of your favorite diverse reads, or which ones are you adding to your list? If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe and share with your fellow bookish people, and I will see you in the next one. Deuces! No! So cute. Okay. You go, girl. Sometimes you gotta hype yourself up. I hope this guide inspires you to start or continue your journey on diversifying toward a more diverse bookshelf. I did not intend to choreograph that with my hands. It just happened naturally. Okay, but when I realized it was like a little choreography, I did practice a little bit, okay? Don't come for me. All the reef is my life is a blooper reel.